92.7 The Edge, WSUW Whitewater. Welcome into the show. I'm your host, Chris Bittner. It's great to be here again, guys. Joined, as always, by a phenomenal crew. Laz, Ryan, Colin, Creston, and Michael. Guys, how are we doing today?
Great,
I'm
man.
a little upset about the rain. I'm dressed up as a golf player right now. I'm drenched, and I'm not going golfing, so that's a little upsetting.
It's just one of those days. I mean, it was raining on the way over here. That was kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, it was annoying.
Yeah, I got a little, I brought my trusty rain jacket with me today.
You always gotta love the raincoats, don't you?
I love them. I wish my backpack had a rain jacket or was waterproof.
Yeah, you know, that would be nice. But with that, we're going to jump right into today's show. It's a little dark outside, which is kind of unfortunate, but we're going to go over our Warhawk thought, which today is, what was the moment that you guys fell in love with sports as a little kid? I guess I'll start with Michael on this one.
Okay. My favorite moment was specifically when the Mavericks beat the Heat in the 2011 NBA Finals. That's really when I started caring about sports. Like, I was only 9 years old before that. I didn't really care at all. I was just more of, I guess, an outcast. I didn't have many friends. But then sort of after that is when I started getting into basketball and football. And then 2011 is sort of like when I got into things.
Yeah, 2011 was an interesting year. I don't really think anyone thought the Mavs were going to win the finals that year. And they overcame all odds. And it was a lot of fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You're also a Packers fan, correct?
Yes.
So I'd assume that time period was pretty fun for you, watching the Mavs win, the Packers won around that time.
Yeah. I wasn't paying attention to football when the Packers won the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
It was literally specifically 2011 season when I started caring.
Well, you missed the golden era of Packers football right then and there.
Well, I mean, at least I got to watch their 15-1 season, but
You did get to do that. I mean, they took a heck of a streak into that year. I think they started 13-0, but the playoffs, unfortunately, did not go their way. Creston, what was your moment?
Yeah, even though I was only 4 years old when this happened, I think college football kind of got me into sports, just like the atmosphere that people have at college football games. But the 2006 Boise State team, when they went 13-0, and then ended up winning the Fiesta Bowl on the Statue of Liberty play at the end, and they were ranked 5th going in, and they were one of 2 undefeated teams that season, and they didn't make it to the BCS championship game because their strength of schedule was considered poor. And I feel like that's kind of when the discussion about should stuff be changed started.
Wow, you really started young then. We were probably 3 or 4 years old. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I didn't even remember anything that happened back then. My first ever Bucks game was when I was like 3 or 4. I think it was 2006. Don't remember a lick of it.
Yeah.
Colin?
Yeah, mine isn't as early as that. I got 2, though, around the same time period. My first one is going to be the Miracle in Motown when Aaron Rodgers threw that bomb. That was, I think, the second season that I was actually, conscious of what was going on with the Packers. And I was in that streak with Aaron Rodgers where they were always contenders but never really got it done. Except for
Always the
2011.
bridesmaid, never the bride.
Exactly. Just disappointing. But that one game specifically, I think it's probably a Sunday, so I had to go to bed for school the next day. I remember my dad.
I think that was Thursday night, actually, because I was asleep when that happened.
Yeah, either way, school night. I'm going to bed, middle of the fourth quarter, I had a bedtime at the time. My dad comes in my room screaming that the Packers won, and then I go watch the replay. So I didn't even see it live, but just seeing that replay and just that moment was so cool to me. And then for basketball, it was 2016, Game 7, LeBron with the block. That was what cemented me as a LeBron stan. That was just an amazing moment.
Oh, we know about that.
I haven't hopped off his back ever since. We'll say that.
All I'm going to say about that is you go to Quick Trip a lot, if you understand what I'm getting at.
I don't.
I also do not understand it.
I'll leave it at that. Ryan?
I would say I think the first sport
Get back to me after the
liked
show.
a lot was baseball because I watched the Giants win 3 World Series in 5 years.
That was an incredible run.
Yep, and then I think played baseball, basketball growing up, and probably the Thunder, the Thunder super team in 2012, which the Thunder never should trade away Harden.
The whole reason they did though was it was a big contract dispute. It was basically like you can't pay 3 superstars, so they chose the 2 and got
Yeah.
rid of the other one.
Yeah.
Was that a Glazers joke, Chris?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Jeez Louise. I was thinking about it.
Was that all, Ryan? Is that all?
I would say yeah.
Laz?
Mine is either Wii Sports. I swear to God, probably Wii Sports or there's a couple. Wii Sports, the movie Miracle on Ice or Miracle, and probably NHL 07. Not
I
even
would-
watching it, just like a movie and then Wii games.
What was your favorite Wii Sports game?
Definitely either baseball or bowling. I was a 300 type of guy.
I bowled a 300 once in my life. It was one of the proudest moments ever.
I threw a nasty splitter too.
I had an insane comeback in Wii bowling over spring break. I was at my buddy's house. He was beating me by 40 in the 7th or 8th frame.
The real question is, how'd you get down by 40?
Don't worry about
Right.
it, Chris. Guys, we're talking about the comeback here. Nobody thinks about what happened before the Cavs came back down 3-1. All that matters is they came back. I threw 5 strikes in a row, including the turkey in the 10th frame. Got the W. I think it was something over 200. That was pretty cool.
That's hard.
Thank
That's,
you.
That's a tough
I
comeback.
appreciate it, Alex.
It is, but unless you were getting splits before that, I don't know how you got down by that much, to be honest
Was
with you.
unlucky.
He's just a
Right?
bum at Wii bowling.
unlucky.
That's all it is.
I mean,
Run
he
me
redeemed
the
himself.
1v1s, Alex.
Yeah, let's do it.
We will.
Let's do it. I got a Wii at the apartment. We can run it, man.
I'll be there.
Okay, whenever you want to do it. No
I-
warm up.
I love playing against people that think they're like so good at certain Wii sports. Like my friend was like an all-pro at basketball, and then I went in and beat him.
Yeah.
Even though I only ever made it to like level
I think-
300 on there, I was terrible at basketball.
I think there was also there was another like Wii. I think that I played a lot growing up. It's like it has like basketball, ping pong.
Oh, that's Wii Sports Resort. That was a lot of
Yeah.
fun
Mm,
too.
bang.
Yeah.
The
That's a banger.
3-point contest.
The 3-point contest I was
Yeah,
never very
that
good
was,
at.
That was really fun to play.
It's all the same motion. You just
I'm still kind of salty though. I never found all 80 of the I points.
and what archery?
It was island flyover. I never found all 80.
Oh.
I always thought I had. I don't know. There was just a couple that I missed. I covered every square inch of that island through my life and never got all 80.
But I feel like now, if you were to go, you'd do it in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, probably. I used to just like start over and see how many I could get. So I'd go to like the village, then I'd go up to the volcano and just get like 17 in 5
Yeah.
minutes or
This guy's
something
got the
like that.
route planned out.
You gotta have a strategy.
Real commercial airline pilot.
Also,
Chris
watching
Bittner, Captain Chris.
watching my friend do wakeboarding on there was just insane. Like I'm terrible at wakeboarding on there, and this man was sticking every plus 100 in a row. I don't think he missed one. He got like 2,700 or something. I was mesmerized.
I don't think I dove too deep into the wakeboarding. I think it was just the golf and the basketball. And sometimes the archery.
I was never good at the archery. That was not my skill set at all.
You just got to find the took a lot of YouTube hours to look for the
The hidden items?
yeah, the hidden items.
I don't know. It was just I've tried to hit those before. I'm nowhere close. It's a skill issue.
Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games
That was a fun game
was
as well.
is probably a top 10 video game to me of all time. Of all time.
I don't know about you guys, but I ran a mean 100-meter dash on Kinect Sports on my Xbox 360.
You had a Connect growing up?
I did.
Wow, hot
Probably
shot
ran
over
into
here.
the TV first try.
Yeah, you're probably right. That would make a lot of sense. But back to the topic here. I guess my moment that I fell in love with sports was I think it was 2009. My dad took me to my first ever Bucks game, and we played against the Trailblazers, and we went to double overtime, and that was kind of my first like real moment where I legitimately paid attention. And I think I went to 2 or 3 more games that year, including a playoff game, which was a lot of fun. That was kind of the year I got into football a little more. Like, I watched the Packers, but I wasn't really into it that much. The Brewers was probably 2011 when they made that big NL Central champion run. I think they won 96 games that year and went to the NLCS, but fell short, unfortunately. But that was really the first year I got into them, too. But moving on to our first topic of today, play-in pandemonium. We got our first play-in games tonight. I believe it's the Eastern Conference tonight. and-
West.
It's West.
I had a
Yeah,
1 for 2
yeah.
Come on,
chance.
buddy.
Yeah. So we got the Lakers and the Pelicans, and then the Kings and Warriors. I guess we'll talk about the Lakers Pelicans first. Colin, well, let me know what you're thinking about this game.
So, I mean, this one's pretty easy to look at because they just played 2 nights ago in New Orleans without Anthony Davis. And I don't know if he's playing for this one. I think he's still questionable. But
He's a huge baby, dude.
he is.
He's a huge baby.
soft like Charmin, except for once a month when he just turns into a prime Shaquille O'Neal.
Every
It's
time he
because
plays
jump
the
shot.
Bucks.
Any
Which is funny because when I went to that Bucks game over spring break, he hit 3 threes, which I haven't seen him done.
if
probably
any
since
analyst
2020.
says anything bad about him, he's going for 30 and 20 next
It's
game.
like the Chris Middleton cycle, but on steroids.
right.
But the Lakers are favorites in that game. I think it'll be close.
This game is in New
it's
Orleans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, they just played in New Orleans. Lakers, that was a pretty cruise control win for them.
They probably
got
didn't
out.
even have to leave. They probably just stayed overnight 2 more nights.
Yeah.
Just extended
I mean,
their
why
stay
go
at the
all
hotel.
the way back to LA just to come back. They probably just stayed there.
Plus the food
yeah.
in New Orleans.
It's playoff
You
basketball.
know Zion.
Zion knows about the
Zion
food in New
knows
Orleans.
about the food.
Yeah, let's hope that D'Angelo Russell or Austin Reeves or something didn't hit up like a soul food buffet or something, and they're not just lethargic out on the court. But without that, I think this should be a pretty, not easy, but I think the Lakers are going to win this game.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you. I feel like just counting out. I was saying this to my friends yesterday, and I got flamed for it. That as long as the Lakers take care of business in either today or their next matchup, I think they have a legitimate shot to beat the 1 or 2 seed, and I got flamed for that.
And if they win this game, they're going to have to play the Nuggets in the first round. But would you rather play the Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals with a 40-year-old LeBron who's already 2 rounds into the playoffs and getting gassed, or would you rather play him when you're your freshest? You know, I think you'd rather play him in the first round. And if you get out, well, you're going to have to play him at some point anyways.
I'd rather not play them at all.
I was gonna say
So,
like
okay, so
you
do
just
you-
go to the other side of the bracket and just kind of pray that they don't make it that far.
So do you think they should intentionally lose this game?
I don't
Well,
know.
you should
people are
never-
saying that.
I hope they lose this game because for our sports meetings, I know you and I both have the Lakers locked at the 8. And if they win
I
this
also
game, they
had
move,
the Lakers locked
And
at
if they
the
win
8.
this game, they move to the 7. And then
I
we
didn't think about
I
that.
thought it was
and then
just-
we
never
don't-
mind.
Yeah.
I thought we were
Pelicans
just
are
doing
gonna
that
win
about
this
the.
game.
and then we don't get points.
I thought that was about the regular season like final
I thought it was
though.
too, but if it's about where they end up, right?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, I guess I
if
didn't
they
really
win
think
this
about
game, they're
that.
going to be the 7th seed. So
Yeah, I didn't really
And
think
then we
about
don't
that.
get any points.
I just heard D'Angelo Russell is in a coma from too much soul food, and he's not playing. So unfortunately, the Lakers are
per
going to lose.
AJ Wojnarowski or
Per
something.
Paulie Pachisi.
Paulie Parcheesi is always on the
Parcheesi.
case.
I think for me, the Pelicans are a very odd team. Like, I look at their team and I'm like, I don't see a single player that can like take over in a sense. Like I mean, obviously you have Zion, Ingram, and McCollum, but I don't feel like when it comes down to it, they're able to take over a game. Like obviously Anthony Davis, LeBron, or even Austin Reeves, even D'Lo, depending on the day.
D'Lo can definitely
Yeah.
take over.
D'Lo took over multiple games in the second half of the season. I
Yeah.
think he was really the reason why they started to rebound towards the end of the year.
Yeah,
agree.
He was on my fantasy team.
It will be a decent game though because
Dog.
the Pelicans are top 6 in defense and the Lakers are top 7 in offense. So I feel like this game is just going to be very like nose grinding, kind of tough physical game.
I kind of feel like that's what I expect from the Lakers. I highly doubt that Anthony Davis is going to miss this game unless it's like a
Yeah.
legitimate
Yeah.
reason. Like they call him day-to-day Davis for a reason. And
Unless they heard that I picked them to get the 8th seed, and they're going to throw me a bone.
Right.
I talked to Darvingham last
But
night.
dude, what if they have to play they'd have to play the Kings probably. 'Cause I'm-
And then DeMontis Sabonis will turn into Will Chamberlain.
yeah, and then that's just gonna be
That's
bad
why it's
news.
like, yeah, you might have to play the Nuggets, but
Like,
don't
do I-
intentionally lose a game.
Do I
Then you're-
sacrifice
You should-
a point for our meetings and and want them to be the 7? Or do I
or
want
you
them to play the
fly
Kings?
to New Orleans
Yeah.
and kneecap D'Angelo Russell? But
I don't
only
think
bad enough
D'Angelo
so you miss
Russell's
well,
it.
he's
gonna
already
be the
out
deciding
tonight. That
factor.
soul food got to him.
Yeah, and we're just throwing salt in the wound right now.
I just don't think D'Angelo Russell's going to be the deciding factor of that
I think
game.
he is the X factor of this Lakers team because I think you're going to get
Give me
consistent
Rui
production.
Hachimura.
I think
Okay, I think they have
inserting
multiple-
Rui into
they
the
have
starting
multiple
lineup
X
was night
factors.
and day for the Lakers.
Yeah,
Like having
Facts.
Tarian Prince out there, he's just not as effective in my
No, he
opinion.
sucks.
He's streaky. Some
He
games he'll hit
sucks.
6 threes, the next game he'll go 0 for 6 from
He's
three.
bad.
He's like Malik Beasley for the Bucks,
Yeah.
who I believe was also removed from the starting lineup
Yep.
not too long ago.
Yeah. It also
Um,
kind of reminds me of Jake Crowder as well.
Yeah, Jake Crowder's been surprisingly up and down this year. I thought he'd be semi-consistent, but
For
it's
the-
like,
For the 7 second-round picks that we sent.
yeah, that
Phoenix-
was. Can I
Phoenix
just say that
Suns.
that was stupid? That trade was awful, and I knew it was awful the second we sent it.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Phoenix Suns, when they had Jay Crowder, he was the second coming of prime Klay Thompson, and it made
Yeah.
me so mad.
Oh, I know. That's
Because
serious.
he what was it, 6 games? He just torched us for 6 games straight.
That's like when Bryn Forbes outscored Jimmy Butler in one of
Yeah.
the series for the Bucks against the Heat. Like,
Bryn Forbes, I remember the Bryn Forbes legacy game.
Yeah.
yeah, that was
was fun to
ridiculous. The fall off needs to be studied. Michael,
Just generally who I think will win.
just a little bit about the game.
Well, again, as you said, they already played 2 nights ago. The Pelicans kicked ass in that game, but I'd say besides that, I personally have the Pelicans winning this game. I just feel like they have more to prove, for one. And for two, again, generally, I feel like they're going to be less motivated, and the Pelicans have something more to prove. With this roster that they have, I feel like they need to get a statement win. And I think the Pelicans think will have a better, or not the Pelicans, the Lakers will have a better shot against the Thunder.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It's really tough to say because you can never count out playoff Bron no matter what, and that's why I still feel like I'm gonna put this on record. If he wins the championship this year by some miracle, I will flip from Jordan to LeBron for the GOAT.
You should have done that a
Somebody
long time
shake his
ago-
hand
a long
on that
time
because
ago.
I'm going to hold him to it.
I mean,
It's-
it's on YouTube. It will
yeah,
be on
it's
YouTube.
it's. I'm saying it on air, so
True,
it
true.
stays.
Johnny YouTube owns that sentence now.
He does. But yeah, I mean, Laz, just talk a little bit more about what you think might happen.
I mean, this Pelicans team, when they got big boy, ginormous boy Zion Williamson, when he's just bodying everybody, and I think if Anthony Davis is out tonight, the Lakers are in trouble because I couldn't even tell you they're back. Christian Wood,
Christian Wood, I
No,
mean,
he's out.
Jackson Hayes.
Jackson
Yeah.
Hayes, he's not terrible, but
No, he's not
He's decent.
terrible, but
He's a
what's
good
he,
he's
rim runner.
serviceable. But that's
what's he gonna do about Derrick Henry in an NBA jersey?
exactly.
6'8" Derrick Henry.
I've always said Zion was built like a linebacker.
He could have played football. He definitely could.
Even
be
when he
the
was in
NFL
high
right now.
school, he was just ginormous.
Yeah.
It was just more muscle than fat. Now it's more fat than muscle.
Zion Williamson
I feel like
is
at this
built
point
like
he's
one of
too
those
big to be
big
a
bags of
linebacker.
ice you get at the gas station.
Too big to be a linebacker.
He's a Popeye's biscuit away from being a D tackle.
Yeah,
He's
He's a Popeye's biscuit away from a heart attack.
but by golly, can that man jump?
It's
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
His
It's like-
knees are
still-
gonna explode.
It's like the beginning of the B movie. Like, despite their big bodies, they shouldn't be able to fly, but they still fly. That's Zion.
According to all known laws of aviation,
Yeah,
I'm
Zion's
pretty
a
sure
B.
are the first words of the B movie. But I mean, if Zion is taking over, if he's hitting mid-range shots, Brandon Ingram kind of washed, but if he's also,
Hasn't even hit 30 yet.
Yeah.
Watched.
I mean, if
It's
he's,
like an NFL running back being washed at 26
I mean,
or
if
whatever.
you look at his over/under for points now, it's like 17 and a half, 16 and a
it
half.
used to be
Ingram-
higher.
Yeah, it
And
used to
Ingram
be
is
like
the Michael
23.
Beasley of Kevin Durant's.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
yeah, he is. This could go either way because we all know how the Lakers play. They love lazy basketball.
That is true.
They
And then
love-
randomly in the fourth quarter, they just decide to start playing.
They
The
love giving their
Lakers-
fans heart attacks.
The Lakers are the Miami Heat of the West.
Kinda.
Yeah,
I can see it. I really
That's
can.
why it's going to be a Lakers Heat finals again this year.
and it's
Hot
just
take.
kind of.
Again?
Yes.
Oh, wait, no, that happened.
I haven't
What am
watched a
thinking?
Lakers
haven't.
game in a couple weeks, specifically because their games make me so mad.
I mean, if you're a Lakers fan, watching a Lakers game takes at least 3 days off your lifespan.
Yeah.
It's like
Confirmed.
watching a Badger basketball game.
It's like watching a Vikings game.
That is true. That is a very good comparison.
Yeah.
Watching
I
a Vikings.
love both those teams. I love watching both of those teams.
I want to say the Vikings' only 2 non-one possession games were the Packers games, and then I guess it was 3, and then the last game. Every single other game all year was 1 possession.
Yep.
Because in the
Tough.
one, they beat the brakes off the Packers, but then the Packers came back and beat the brakes off them the next matchup.
Yep.
Ryan, do you have any last thoughts on the Lakers-Pelicans game?
Yeah, I think the Pelicans are going to win. I think each team played each other with Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
Sunday, and LeBron had a triple double.
I mean,
17 assists.
Yeah,
he's a great distributor
Year
when he
21.
tries.
yeah. So,
The man's
Dog.
45 years old. I mean,
Like-
come on.
wait, you said
We're gonna have to make a quick trip
you
run
said
after the
is
show, I'm
Davis
afraid.
I
playing,
need
or-
some Glazers, dude.
Is
You are
Davis
what you
playing,
eat.
or-
What is a glazer?
It's a donut.
What?
It's a donut.
Is it just like one of those mini ones?
No.
You don't know what a
Pretty big.
glazer is?
I know what
Laz,
like
this is a
glaze.
criminal offense, right? Have you ever been to Quick Trip before?
Yeah, but
Let's
I
get
don't
this man
get
some Glazers.
We
I don't
have to
get
get him some glazers.
Quick Trip donuts.
Who's
I get
driving?
Quick Trip gas.
You've never been inside a quick
I've
trip.
been inside of the
To get
the Quick
food?
Trip.
Bro, you
It's
can't
right
go
by
to
the
Quick Trip and
checkout
no,
desk.
not
You
go
get-
get some hot food, dude.
I mean, I've gotten like
Those
a
cheese
chicken
sticks hit the
sandwich.
spot.
Oh, you know
quite
that
a
like
bit.
that like sandwich they have that's like 2 waffles as the buns, and then
Am
it's
I
like,
the only one that's never there when they have that? Because I never see it. I've heard about it, but
It's
I've
a
never
rare
seen
sighting.
it.
It's
yeah.
like a rare Pokemon card, but when it's there, it's coming
You
out.
have-
It's
you
coming
have to
off the
get it.
shelf. It's coming
It's
off
coming
the shelf.
home with you.
I might eat it and then just scan the wrapper and pay for it.
That's me with the mini tacos that they have there. If the mini tacos are on the rack, they're getting purchased. It's
Okay,
just no
that's it.
question.
But yeah, I've never had a glazer. I've had a glazed donut. You know.
It's kind of the same. It's more
Well,
or
I-
less the
I would-
same, but
I would
Quick Trips
hope
are
it's
just
the
S
same
tier
thing.
compared to
All
those.
this talk about Glazers, man. Get a Quick Trip. I'll be looking like Zion. If that,
We don't even have to go to New Orleans for it. But moving on to the next game, we got Kings Warriors as the nightcap tonight. I guess, Colin, I'll start with you. This game could honestly go either way, I feel like.
Now, the Warriors are 2.5 favorites, but I don't really know why.
It's in Sacramento, isn't it?
Sacramento,
It is.
And I don't know. Like you said, this could go back and forth. It really depends on if the Warriors are hitting their shots. Like when they played the Lakers about a week ago, if they're playing like that, then they might go all the way to the championship.
I think the big thing, honestly, isn't Steph. It's Klay Thompson.
yeah.
Klay Thompson
Steph's
is
gonna
going
give
to
you-
determine whether they win or lose.
Yeah, Steph's going to give you his consistent, 5 threes at least, 30 points, whatever. But Klay Thompson, he could either go over or just drop 30 in a quarter.
Shoot
you
tour
know?
dates.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He has been shooting a lot of tour days.
2/27.
Yeah.
But he's been
Like
getting
me
a
and
little,
my intramural game last night.
Oh, I'm sorry
Let's
to
not
hear
even
that.
talk about intramurals, man. It was rough. We played an undefeated team. I don't think they missed a single three. But if the Warriors play like that intramural team played, then they're going to win by 1,000. But
If
Klay
any
Thompson,
team plays, if any team doesn't miss a shot,
if you see Klay Thompson throw up the fours, I think it's over for the Warriors because he only does that when he's getting beat.
You know, unfortunately, Game 6 Klay is starting to become more and more of a myth as the years go
Yeah.
by. It's like, now it's just people say it, but he'll shoot like 2 for 12.
Bro
in
had
a
like
game.
I
two
miss it.
good game sixes, and then people started
branded
calling
it pretty much.
Game 6 Klay. Once you get a nickname for it, it kind of puts pressure on you.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, I think you let it consume him. But also, the Warriors have won 17 of their last 21 away games, so they're pretty hot on the road.
It's such like a contrast how they were
Yeah.
last year. Last
Yeah.
year they were like 10-31 on the road
Well,
or
they're
something
always
like
a
that.
good
They were
home team.
abysmal.
I mean, especially back when they were in Oracle Arena. Like, that was almost, you could never get a win going to Oracle Arena. And now they're really good on the road. So, I guess, yeah, it really depends on if the Warriors are hitting their shots. If not, Kings win.
I wonder if Chris Paul is playing tonight, right?
I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah, I was just making sure, but like, would he even play a factor in this game at
No.
this point?
he will come in and drop like 4
He
points.
played a factor in that Lakers game, man. Just turned back the clock to like 2013.
That's how I felt when he
infuriating.
played against the Bucks a couple of years ago in
Yeah.
the finals. He just turned back the clocks 5 years.
It's like every time he's playing your favorite team, he just wants to play like
Prime
his
Chris
prime
Paul
self.
again.
and when he's not, he's playing like Cliff Paul.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
his alter ego, Rajon Rondo.
So, if you had to predict this game, who do you think comes out on top?
I'm gonna say the Warriors. I think Steph's too clutch. I think he'll get it out the mud.
He is playing against former Clutch Player of the Year, De'Aaron Fox, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's got the more experience and in my opinion, he's the greatest point guard of all time. So, he's great, historically great. I think the Warriors are gonna win, but that's not a firm pick. That's just if I had to make a pick.
I don't know. I still want Iguodala Creston.
Yeah, I think for me the biggest thing is the Warriors' defense. I just feel like their best blocker is Trace Jackson Davis, and he's averaging about a block a game, which is not really the best of what you want to do. They're an average defense, but I feel like the Kings just have a lot of scoring. Obviously, they have De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, who puts up points, rebounds. He can pass the ball, but I feel like the Kings also have a couple of good players on the bench. Obviously, Malik Monk is probably a finalist for Man of the Year.
If I'm not mistaken, he's out, isn't he?
Is he?
I don't think he did he hit the game requirement?
I'm not sure. But I know for a fact Kevin Herter is out.
He is.
Yeah.
Malik Monk is also out.
Is it because they got so many starts or what?
The only king I know that's out is Kevin Herter.
Oh, are we talking about for the game tonight or
Yeah,
the
for the
award?
game tonight.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Anywho,
Sidebar.
Yeah, it does look like he's out. So never mind.
So they're playing against a short-handed Kings
Oh,
team.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Kevin Herter and Malik Monk are
Malik
both
Monk
out.
is out.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. So just scratch everything I just said.
Warriors by 1,000.
No, not by 1,000, but
smash the Warriors over.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
but it's a little bit easier for the Warriors when two of their shooting guards are out, and Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox are gonna have to be like Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. Prime.
Speaking of Blake Griffin, he retired today.
Yeah.
One of the greatest dunkers of all time. Salute to him.
Yeah.
I just wish he was able to stay healthy more often.
He was not on a current roster, correct?
I don't believe so.
No,
he
the
was
last roster he was on was
Celtics,
Boston
right?
last year.
Last year,
He was
Boston.
just chilling on the couch. He's like, by the way, I'm not coming back, guys.
It's like Rajon Rondo
Yeah.
retired a couple weeks ago. I'm like, dude, you haven't been in the league for 3
think that-
years.
that's-
Yeah, right.
Isn't that what Carmelo did? Wasn't he not on a roster when he retired?
Something like that.
He was like, oh, I guess nobody wants me. I'm retired.
I think someone from the NFL did that not too long ago either.
It's
but
like saying I didn't get fired, I quit.
Yeah, but no, I just think the Warriors shooting is gonna catch up to the Kings at some point. So I have
Also
the
de-
Warriors.
Depends on how much of a menace Draymond Green is tonight.
Yeah.
whether
He's
he
gonna
gets too
punch
tech,
Domantas
whether he
Sabonis
gets
in the
ejected in the
cranium.
first or second half.
He might take Domantas Sabonis out with him. If he does
might.
that, it's fair game.
I've always thought Sabonis looked like an angry Abe Lincoln,
Yep.
Yeah.
facially
Chet
speaking.
Holmgren looks like
Anthony
Abe Lincoln.
Davis Sr., you mean?
He is that man's father.
Yeah, he
Unfortunately.
is Anthony Davis.
Confirmed. Michael,
23andMe and everything.
I think that the Warriors will beat the Kings. The Warriors, with their experience, they refuse to go out without a fight. Feel like they won't leave us alone. And then for the Kings,
I think
they
the
haven't-
Kings are better than what their seeding indicates.
I agree.
Me as
I
well,
mean,
Chris.
they're really good. Again, they finished with above 500 record, but I'm just looking at most of their recent schedule. The only real impressive win that they have lately is their one over the Clippers, or the one by 14. Outside of that, every team that has above 500 record, they've lost, from what I see.
Am I the only?
And there's not. And again, they have 200 players, so that doesn't help their case either.
Yeah. Am I the only one that thinks the Clippers are just gonna get swept out back by the Mavericks in that series?
I sure hope so.
Well,
I, would
I don't think
love
they're
to
going to
see
get
the
swept,
Mavs
but
go
I'm
far.
not sure that they're going to win.
I'm not saying they were gonna get swept per se, but Kawhi's status isn't looking great, and they just I don't know. They haven't impressed me as of late. They were hot when Kawhi Leonard was scorching the earth on the floor. They were hot, but the second that stopped happening, they kind of fell apart.
It's also playoff James Harden, a very questionable player.
Not exactly the most clutch when it comes to April, May, and June. But Laz, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I got Kings by 1 billion. I have no faith in the Warriors anymore. It's really just Steph out there.
That's a man with money on the game right there.
No.
We do
Kings
not
by
give
1
gambling
billion.
advice here on 91.7 The Edge. Just want to preface that.
And if we did, I wouldn't do the Warriors. But I got Kings by 1 billion.
The
Conference,
Cavs.
Yeah, my bad. Kings by 1 billion. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the playoff picture here, and I was looking at that Cavs Magic series. Got me kind of excited.
I got the Magic in that.
Yeah, by 1 million probably.
Orlando Magic.
I mean, they have Domantas Sabonis, who I believe is leading the league in double doubles this season.
It's basically a lock at this point that he's going to get one every game.
Yeah, I mean, he's Mr. Consistent. De'Aaron Fox is going to give you 27 and 6. And it's really just Steph on the other side. If Clay decides to wake up on the right side of the bed, maybe he's going to take his boat out for a spin today. I don't know. But, I mean, if he clears his mind and just Clay's had the yips for the past, couple seasons, so it's kind of tough. But I got the Kings.
Yeah, so we got some contrasting opinions here. I mean, besides Sabonis and Fox, though, I kind of have questions about what the rest of the team's going to be able to do. I mean, they have some decent pieces, like Harrison Barnes, if he gets hot, that changes everything, too, but...
Keegan Murray still there?
Yes, he is.
Yep, there you go.
Speaking of someone
Dog.
who could get hot randomly, Keegan Murray.
Who's that rookie on the Warriors that's been going kind of crazy?
Brandon
Podziemski?
Podziemski, yeah.
He took Clay's spot in the starting
He
lineup,
could
if
have a
I'm not
legacy
mistaken.
game here.
He had that against the Bucks. He had like
This
25
is
points
his,
that game.
Postseason debut, so
We'll see.
see what he can do.
Ryan,
Yeah, I'm taking the Warriors here.
the Warriors?
I think. Yeah, I think Jackson Davis needs to guard Sabonis pretty well. Keep him off the board, and Kuminga just. I think Kuminga's been playing great, and then Draymond Draymond needs to play well, and then I think the Kings are the underdog here.
Yep.
By a couple points.
Yep.
2.5, right?
Yes. Warriors 2.5-point favorites.
Boo.
And so I'm picking the Warriors.
You got the Warriors in this one. All right, we're going to move over to the East now. We got some mixed opinions. I think you were the only one that picked the Kings, though.
Probably.
I think I'm also going to... It's hard for me to side against the Warriors, but the Kings, the Golden One Center is going to be rocking tonight. There's no doubt about that. Just because they haven't seen a ton of playoff basketball.
I want the beam.
It seems like-
Give the people the beam.
It seems like every time the Kings win, they always light.
That's a tradition.
They light the
do.
beam.
They
It's
do
like
light the
this.
beam.
Light
Every
the
single...
beam!
I also feel like that game is a little more important because obviously if you lose, you're out. So I feel like that Sacramento arena is probably going to be a lot hyper than maybe the was it the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans?
The Smoothie King Center.
That is what it's called.
Yeah,
what a
that is
soft
that is.
arena, dude.
Yeah, that's
Oh, we're going
soft.
into the Smoothie King Center.
Like the
Oh,
Crypto.com arenas, any
Yeah.
better?
no. All right.
It's still the Staples Center.
I'm still
It is
mad
still
at
the
mad
Staples
at the Brewers for
American fan.
You think I'm not?
Miller Park.
So
Miller
tough
Park.
name.
So iconic.
So iconic.
To AmFam.
To
AmFam
American
Field.
Family Field.
That's how I
Sellouts.
feel about that.
Absolute
Just a big
sellout.
It's like that meme with the dragons and then the ones looking over at
Yeah, the one's just goofy.
They're sellouts. The Brewers organization is sellouts. Their office.
All right, moving on to the Eastern Conference
The
now.
office, front office.
Really quick, I just want to jump through these before we move on to our next topic. Bulls and Hawks, that'll be taking place tomorrow. We're going to kind of gloss over this one a little bit because I don't think either of these teams are going to be making any noise. Colin, any thoughts on this game?
Depends on if DeMar DeRozan's daughter is there or not.
I think
she
that
shows
that's
up.
honestly the X factor.
I got Bulls by 1,000, and they are 3-point favorites. But if Trae Young can get his stuff together, then it could be a close game. But DeMar DeRozan has been the 8th best scorer since the All-Star break, and the Bulls have had the 12th best offense since the All-Star break. So they're hitting their stride at a good time. And if I had to pick, I'd pick the Bulls.
I feel like the Bulls know how to turn it up at this time of year.
Yeah.
I mean, because they can
for the play-in, not for the actual playoffs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I mean, they were close last year. Miami made the finals, and they gave them a better run than the Bucks did.
Yeah, weren't they up by a decent amount in that game?
I don't know about a decent amount, but it was back and forth the whole way, and the Heat just made a couple
the
more
Heat were on
plays at
brink
the end of the game.
Being out of the playoffs, and then they just go and make it to the finals.
Jimmy Butler turned into Himmy Butler in
Himmy
that
Butler.
series.
They're hacking.
I also love watching the Heat play because you get to see Jimmy Butler's media day picture, the emo picture.
My
So
friend
unserious.
wanted to trade him off his fantasy team just because of that picture. He hated looking at it
I
so
want
much.
him on my team just because of that picture. So
I don't want him anywhere near my fantasy organization.
We know how Laz feels about Jimmy Butler.
Dude, I mean, why would you want a guy who performs like trash in the regular season on your fantasy team?
That is true.
Probably
I mean, it
wouldn't,
makes
yeah.
sense.
That logistically makes zero sense.
All right,
If we're
Craig.
looking at the schematics and the logistics of everything, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, I literally have in my notes the Heat and Sixers, whichever wins tonight will be the 7, and then whoever loses is going to be the 8. So the Heat Sixers game is just going to be dependent on who wins that one. I think for the Bulls and Hawks, though, I feel like Trae Young is either very on or very off.
That is very true.
There's like no in between. So I feel like it depends on if on Tuesday, April 16th, if he decides, I'm going to play good basketball today, they'll win.
It's whether they get ice tray or ice cold tray.
Yeah. I'm going to pick the Bulls just because I have more confidence in their consistency. And
They also get home court.
yeah. And that, again, kind of like the Pelican situation, I don't think the Hawks have somebody who can, like, if Trae Young's off, they're kind of just out there running and hoping that they'll make shots.
I think Jalen Johnson is also out, if I'm not
He
mistaken,
is.
too. Which is another blow to the Hawks. And
Yeah.
DeJounte Murray, he's a shot chucker.
Yeah.
He's very much a shot chucker. I think in one of the games he
You
had
mean
like 40,
bucket getter?
It took him 44 shots to get, 50
four-
points.
44 points.
Yeah.
He was like 16 for 44 that game.
That's kind of me in intramural.
You mean bucket getter? He's a bucket getter.
So then by that definition, Michael Porter Jr. is also a bucket getter.
Michael Porter Jr.'s main role on the Nuggets team is to get buckets.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's what he's there for.
Never swing the rock, MPJ.
Michael, the possession ends here, Porter Jr.
Speaking of Michaels, Michael, what are your thoughts on this game?
Well, something interesting I should mention is that Trae Young has yet to lose a playoff game from what I've been told.
What?
What?
I know. I don't know.
Play in game, maybe.
Yeah, play in.
I was
Yes,
gonna
yes,
say,
yes.
it'd be like
That's
a
what I meant to
five-time
say.
A
do like
playoff
5
game?
rings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's yet to lose a play-in game, but
I was like,
That's-
I could have counted 4 right off the top of my head when they played the Bucks.
that streak is gonna end here. The Bulls are gonna beat the Hawks. It's not gonna be interesting at all.
Wow.
Trae Young supporting
Not
cast.
interesting at all. That's a take.
This
Michael Hot
This-
Take Vandership.
their supporting cast is not impressive. The Bulls one isn't that much more either, but I don't see why 36 and 46 teams should be in the playoffs.
I agree on that. I don't know. The play-in is so tough for me because it's like you're rewarding mediocrity at times. It's like a team could be like,
Yeah.
I want to say the Spurs made it that year with like 33 wins
Yeah,
or something, and it's like they do not deserve to
I
play
like
playoff
it
basketball.
just for the Western Conference this year because those are all teams that should be in the playoffs.
That is
They're
true.
all like 10 games over.
I feel like
500.
every team that made it in the West deserves to be there, and
Yeah.
every team that didn't had a reason why they didn't deserve to be there.
Just make the playoffs 1 through 16.
Honestly,
Like-
that's fair. That's honestly the most fair way to do it.
Because the Western Conference is like just obliterating the East every year and record-wise.
And it's been that way for
Yeah.
years
Since the
and years
play-in.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, except, I mean, the
Not even
Celtics
that. It
this
was
year.
before, too.
No, yeah, but like since the play-in, it's really taken a step forward.
Laz?
I was talking to my roommate earlier about this. He's a big Bulls guy. I said this game was going to be a snooze fest, and it would be a surprise if I made it till the third quarter of this game.
It's gonna be surprised if I watched this game.
Yeah, I
Check
mean,
the score, maybe.
I might watch it. There's a chance.
if you've ever watched a full Bulls game, they lose. They love to lose. DeMar DeRozan just ISOs every possession, goes down to the free throw line, and takes a 100% contested fadeaway mid-ranger.
Or
That's
Kobe
green.
White's shot chucking a 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's all he does. Kobe White's good. He's been good. Io's been better. They got the Caruso show. But, I mean, the Hawks just, they just have the swagger that you want coming into the play-in, not the playoffs.
So you're going to take the Hawks?
I didn't say that yet, Chris. We haven't gone there yet. I just think both of these teams don't care enough because they're either going to have to play the 76ers or the Heat, and then after that they're going to have to take on the Celtics. So it's like, who really cares at that point? You know, for Bulls Nation, I'm sure they'd love to make the playoffs just to get swept in the first round and waste everybody's time for another year.
I think their front office appreciates that, but the fans are kind of apathetic.
You know what? I will take the Hawks. Give me the Hawks.
Interesting. Ryan?
Give me the Bulls. Because I think Atlanta lost 6 in a row to end the year.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That
'cause-
is something to bring up.
It's not going to be 7.
They lost to Dallas.
It will not.
They got,
Dallas is a good team.
they got crushed by Denver.
That's also
Yeah.
fair,
They
I
lost
guess.
to Miami in double overtime.
They put
Yeah.
up a
They
fight.
lost to Charlotte.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
rough.
That's
They
yeah,
lost
that's
to
not
Minnesota.
great.
Excuse there, buddy.
Minnesota's
And then
good.
they got crushed by Indiana.
That is true. They
Meteor,
really
yeah.
struggled to end the year.
Didn't
Yeah,
Indiana
like-
put up like 157 on
It was something like
That's
that. It was some
crazy, dude.
super high
I
number.
don't think Atlanta's playing not some very good basketball lately, and I think the Bulls. I think DeRozan will drop like 30, and like I think Vucevic needs to play.
Vooch, I think, is an X factor for the Bulls because he's kind of like Anthony Davis, but like significantly worse.
I keep forgetting that he was on the team. Like,
He-
when was the last time you
I
saw
know a lot of
Nikola
Bulls fans don't
Vucevic
like him.
Yeah,
stat line?
yeah. I was gonna say he is a
What does he even
domestic
average?
terrorist in the eyes of Bulls fans. I mean, he always just chucks threes, and he doesn't make them. He would make them in
It's kind of
Orlando.
like Brooke Lopez.
He would make them in
Yeah.
Orlando. He got traded to
player
Chicago and became like just the most hated guy.
He is
In-
averaging a double-double, though.
It's because Bulls
It's
fans
just
just
like-
expect more out of him, I think.
Yeah, yeah. What? He was like an MVP candidate in Orlando.
I don't know about that,
an
but
all-star.
he was decent.
Yeah, I guess he was an all-star. But he was Orlando's best player, and I get they were horrible. I do. Well, I wouldn't say horrible.
They made the playoffs one
yeah,
year.
yeah,
Yeah.
because of him. So he's more than capable of leading a team, you know? But
Yeah.
I just think him on this Bulls team is bummy.
The Bulls also do have Drummond, though.
They surely do. They surely do.
Wow, big game changer. On to the next one.
Dude,
this is a much more
Drummond can
interesting.
pick up like 20 boards.
Some much.
Easy.
I know.
Drummond is
Yeah,
he.
I think.
I think he's one of the most useless empty stats players of all time.
Oh,
to be
come
honest.
on.
You saying rebounds
like,
are useless,
Drummond will
Chris?
give you like,
You have Thanasis on your favorite team.
All right, Chris, if I see you put up 25 rebounds in intramurals and then I tell you it's useless, let's see your reaction.
Yeah, dude, Chris is gonna
But
be all
the
covered
thing
in
is
scratches and sweat. And
he'll,
be like,
You're like, oh, those
What
are
do you
empty
mean?
stats,
Yeah.
bud.
It's like when you're just grabbing easy defensive boards. Like if it, you got,
25.
If it were easy, everybody'd be doing it.
I'm not. Okay. He was on those Pistons teams. It's like, oh, get this guy some help. But like
Yeah.
he was never good on those teams. Like he can't shoot the free throw.
I mean, I'll say this: he's never been an impact player on a good team. I'll
Yeah.
give you that.
that's what I'm trying to say. It's like he was putting up
I see
somewhat
what you- I
empty
see what you're
stats
saying.
on a bad team. But on to the next game really quick. 76ers versus Heat. Colin, start with you again. I feel like this one's a lot more tight than the other one.
I think this is, surprisingly enough, this is actually the biggest spread in all the play-in games. The Sixers are 4.5 favorites, which is the highest favorite in the entire plan, which makes sense because they were like a top 4 seed before Embiid went out or something like that. So they really shouldn't be in the play-in if it weren't for that Embiid injury. But I think this is a must-win game for both teams because if you win, you're going on to the Knicks. If you lose, you have to win the next game just to play the Celtics. So like that's a big difference.
Call
right
me
there.
crazy, but I think honestly the Celtics. I think both of these teams have a chance against Boston.
I don't
think-
think Miami does. I think Philadelphia does.
Yeah,
If Joel's playing like normal minutes.
I agree that they both have a chance, but I think they both have a way better chance against the Knicks. Like I'd want to play the Knicks over the Celtics.
With no Julius Randle is
Yeah.
huge too.
But yeah, the Sixers are 4.5 favorites. Embiid is back. I know he tweaked the knee that he had surgery on the other day, so that's definitely we're gonna see how that knee is doing. But I don't know. I think whoever wins this game is going to the Knicks, and then whoever loses this game is gonna beat the Hawks or the Bulls to play the Celtics.
I don't really think that's much of a question. And now
Yeah.
that I say that, the Bulls are probably going to make the finals.
Possibly. I'd give you $5 if that happened. I was gonna say like 1,000, but then I was like, if that actually does happen.
But it's
Yeah.
like
I
it
just go
won't
bankrupt.
happen. That's the thing. It won't.
I didn't think the Heat were gonna make the finals last year either. So
They
I
had
thought
they had an
before
easy
that
path.
series, I thought the Bucks in 6 was a very fair bet. And
Yeah.
then even after 1-1, even 1-2, I still felt somewhat confident that we could pull it
Yeah.
out. But it didn't happen.
but
And Creston, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, the Sixers are coming in with a league best 8-game win streak. I mean, Embiid is obviously
They're also at home.
Embiid has obviously changed this team a lot. The Heat do have the 5th worst offense in the entire league, but the 3rd best defense, so it's literally polar opposites. But the thing about the Sixers is that anybody can go off for them, I feel like. I feel like it's never just Embiid or just Maxey. I feel like they have a lot of guys who can kind of share the wealth there. I do think the Sixers will win this game, and then the Heat will blow out whoever has the unfortunate task of playing them.
When Duncan Robinson goes hog wild in one of those games, it's going to be like, well, last year, Kevin Love,
Yeah.
of all people, who just randomly dropped 27.
Yeah.
Because that's just how it
Yeah.
goes in Miami. Michael?
I think that the 76ers are going to win this game. It's nice to see everybody healthy again. I know whenever the Mavericks played against them, it was Tobias Harris was the guy that just absolutely cooked us for some reason. But it'll be interesting to see, though, especially if it ends up being a Philadelphia-New York matchup. A matchup of probably two of the worst fan bases, in my opinion.
2 of the worst cities ever, besides Boston.
Yeah,
Boston is number 1 on that regard.
Yeah.
it's a fair point. But again, just looking at this game alone, I will take them. I just see the Heat as more of an 8th seed. I think that the Heat will beat the Bulls, and the 76ers are going to go on to be the 7th seed.
I think they have a decent shot against the Knicks, too, because I don't think the Knicks have anyone to stop Embiid on that team.
Yeah, fair
No.
point.
Isaiah
He's
Hartenstein.
50.
It's Mitchell Robinson, maybe?
Is he still out though?
I thought he came back.
I thought that
Yeah,
dude was in Turkey,
He's been coming off the bench.
possibly China.
Turkey's the go-to
Yeah,
forward country.
Yeah.
Get ready to learn Turkish, buddy.
Yeah, get ready.
Laz?
Give me the Sixers, especially with Embiid back. Like I said before, if he's playing normal minutes, it'll definitely be the 76ers by at least 10 points. By at least 10 points.
I don't see a reason that he
Over 9.5 for sure.
I don't see a reason that he won't. He's been playing over 30 in pretty much every game since
But he
he came
just
back.
recently, what was it, Friday? Tweaked his knee again.
Yeah.
He did? I was
Yeah, it's
The
unaware.
knee he had surgery on,
Yeah.
too,
Oh.
so.
And
boy.
so I think they took him out for the rest of that game.
That might have also just been a precautionary thing. I mean, at
I
that
think
point
so.
when you already have your spot locked
Did he,
in,
did
it's
he
like
play the game after that?
No.
he didn't play on Sunday.
Okay. Okay.
I
Yeah,
forget who
I-
they played against though, but it wasn't
Well,
important.
weren't they already locked in at that point?
Yeah.
Yeah, so why risk it?
Yeah, true. I just give
A
me.
lot of people sat out on Sunday.
I mean, the Heat definitely can be a dangerous team. We all know this. It's a very unfortunate thing. They've given all our favorite franchises runs.
Yep.
All of us.
Facts.
So I think we all share a mutual hatred towards the Miami Heat, if I'm not mistaken.
Pretty much.
Oh, agreed.
Okay. So yeah, I really just don't want to see them succeed.
I also just I hate how smart Spoelstra is.
Yeah.
Like back when LeBron was there, I wasn't sure of his coaching ability because like how hard is it to coach LeBron?
Yeah,
but the
Dwayne
second he
and
left and they
Bosh,
were
yeah.
still able to contend pretty much all of those years, even when Hassan Whiteside was their best player, it's like they're still making the play.
He had a stint. He had a legendary stint.
He
was getting,
did,
He was
but-
getting snatch blocks like every game. I think he's the reason the snatch block is in 2K.
He's on Portland, right?
He's
Or
he's been
he
out of the
was
He's in
league.
Turkey, buddy.
Well, no. When was he on Portland last? I know.
Like 2018.
Are you sure?
It's been a
It's
while.
been a minute, dude.
I think he was on the Jazz at one point too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jamie, pull that up for me.
Jamie, get on it.
Yeah, 2022. Okay, that's not that
He
long
played
ago.
in the NBA. It beats me. I'll say that much.
He
I
had the
don't.
shortest prime ever. It was like a game.
The fall off needs to be studied.
He had one snatch block and he was like, I'm done with this basketball stuff.
Yeah, that hurt.
Not a big basketball
He
fan.
probably hurt his shoulder. He's like, ow.
I gotta go to Turkey.
Ryan?
Give me the Sixers here. I think Embiid's gonna be hard to stop, and like Miami's already without Terry Rozier.
Yeah, that's also a huge loss. I mean, Terry was kind of
Scary
up and
Terry.
down a little bit there,
Oh,
but
Terry.
So,
we've seen him turn up in the playoffs before.
yeah, I think the Sixers lineup is is Maxey. I think start Buddy Hield, Tobias Harris. So I think the Sixers could beat the Knicks, honestly.
Yeah, I kind of brought that up too.
I think they're going to be favorites in that series.
Anytime Jimmy Butler plays the Sixers, though, it's a revenge game.
It is.
Tobias Harris over me.
Facts.
I just I'd keep Tobias Harris over him too at that point in his career. He was
That's
not
a
great.
take.
Hot take.
That's a take.
I mean, neither of
Imagine if
them
the
are-
Sixers still had Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I mean,
It'd be a dynasty.
Ninja
in
headband Jimmy
Philadelphia right
Butler.
now.
Imagine if
Different
the Thunder
beast.
Jimmy
just
Butler
kept Kevin
had
Durant
kids in
and
my high
James
school
Harden.
trying to wear ninja headbands, and then they would get embarrassed when the refs told them they couldn't wear it in the game.
What was the reasoning behind not being able to wear the ninja?
Probably because of the
headbands?
trail thing behind
Yeah.
when you're like trying, you could just like pull on it and stuff.
What are they
Imagine somebody
scared? You
just-
can do that with long
Yeah,
hair.
you could do that
too.
with Torian Prince, bro. Let me snatch those dreads, bro.
I don't know. That's my best theory. But really quick before final thoughts, unfortunately, we're not going to have time for either of our other topics today, which I kind of wanted to do the concession
Oh,
elimination
yeah. Sorry
game,
we
but
were yapping so much.
really, nah, it's all good. I mean, it's good discussion,
I feel
but
like we're all gonna have the same answer for that anyway.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I
I mean,
was-
because
Maybe
we
we
would
can
all
save for
go
next
around the
week,
room.
who
The thing
knows?
is, every person eliminates one that they don't think they eliminate the worst one. So if we get someone who just hates nachos and they're out first,
I mean, nachos are cool, but it's definitely not put
No.
over any.
well, no, I'm just saying like it could be super
Too
controversial, like pizza's out like right away or something like
Right,
that, and like
right.
your favorite food is pizza. I mean, like,
Well, I thought it was just concession food, like at the concession stand. Like,
well,
I could
I
say
was.
steak hypothetically. You know, if we're just doing it like
We're
I
just
don't know.
talking
I was
best
just thinking.
foods.
To be honest, what I was doing was walking through my head of like Miller Park of like what they have at all the different stands, and that's where a lot of the stuff I put in here was.
I see.
Either way, you're going broke if you get food
Not the tacos.
at a ballpark. True. That was a good option if they didn't scorch my
Yeah, I
mouth.
spent $12 on a bacon burger there one time. Probably not worth
Sounds
it.
about right.
Spent 26 on a drink too, didn't you?
Yeah, you did.
Yep. Everything's overpriced there, I'll say that much. But really quick before final thoughts, I just want to discuss the Masters a little bit because I know we talked about it last week, and this was
Ooh-wee.
probably the first year I actually kind of paid attention to it. And Scotty Scheffler just put on a master class in the back nine of Sunday.
Yeah.
The
That's what he
master of
does.
the Masters.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Does anyone know if his kid's been born yet?
Nope. No news
No.
on that yet.
He was still in Dallas partying after the Masters at some dive bar.
Imagine you're one hole away from winning the Masters and then your wife goes into labor. I'd be fuming.
I was, to be honest, at that point I would have finished.
I'd be fuming.
Dude, even
I
if it
still-
was like
I
He
know
already-
what
he
he
already made
said,
that
but
commitment.
you're 71 holes into a 72 hole tournament. Just finish at that point.
I'd be like, sweetheart, there's $20 million on the line, and
Yeah.
I am the best. I am the number one in the world.
You give me one more hole and I'm sending our kid to
Not even
Harvard.
that, dude. It could be the warm-up round, and she's like, I'm going into labor, and I'm like, well,
Well,
Best of
sorry,
luck
I'm
to you,
favored
yeah.
in the Masters.
I'll be there
Yeah.
after my round's done.
right, I'll be there Monday.
I'll stop by. Give you
That's
a
crazy.
high five.
Do you like? Here's the college fund for him and his kids, and his kids'
generational
kids.
wealth
Yeah.
on the line.
For real.
for one tournament.
Can I also just say that Tiger needs to hang it up?
Yeah.
It's time.
The
Like-
Turkish Golf League.
Yeah, something like that. Not even
Better learn
just
Turkish.
Yeah,
just
get ready
be
to learn Turkish.
Charlie
buddy.
would just be his son's caddy or something because
Yeah.
like he doesn't
Yeah.
he's not in a physical condition anymore to where he can play
It's
72
his
holes.
son's time.
Yeah, it's Charlie's time.
Charlie Woods.
I think it was more of just a mental thing for him to actually get through it.
Yeah, I think that was honestly his goal.
But like getting dead last after making the cut is wild.
I mean, like I don't know. What
what
was
did
the
he have?
cut? Like +2, +3?
It was
Yeah, but
like
then
plus
he-
5.
Yeah, but then
It
he
was bad this year.
didn't he
That's true. It was-
golf like a +12?
+11, I think it was on Saturday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he shot an absolute stinker.
He got the yips.
He got the yips.
He was like me out on Spring Creek on
He
Saturday.
got the yips.
Yep.
it was like you and Horse. You got the yips hard.
Oh yes, I did. that was not my best game of basketball. I'll put it that way. But does anyone else have any other thoughts? I thought John Rahm did not have his best tournament. There were a couple times on Sunday where he was showing it was like the putts that he was missing. I'm like, oh man, it's just one of those days.
Yeah, that the guy who got second, what was it, Aberg or whatever?
Aberg or
Yeah,
Oberg.
Oberg, yeah.
Yeah, that dude showed out when he needed to. I feel like, I don't know, there was just a lot of guys up top that were kind of not really not favored, but kind of unique to
Well,
the
also Bryson shot a 65 on Thursday and just
Yeah.
fell apart after that.
Yeah.
That was weird to see. It's like he just gradually kind of fell down the leaderboard every day after Thursday.
He got tired.
3D printed irons were breaking.
And shout out Phil, I believe he also made it all the way through. It's
Yeah.
like his 34th Masters, I think is what they said. It was either 31 or 34, I think. Like, dude's been playing
That's
for
insane.
2 of our lifetimes
Facts.
almost.
Yeah.
Also, Fred Couples was still playing for some reason. Like, he played the first 2 days. That guy's got to be pushing like 70 at this point.
Yeah, I don't know how old he is, but he should also probably hang it up before he throws his back out.
64.
64. He looks older than that.
Wow.
That
I'd say he's
Masters
doing good
money
for his
did
age.
not treat him well.
No. Does anyone else have any other thoughts on the Masters really quick?
I don't think so.
You sure
I'm
you don't have
trying to
anything,
think.
Alex?
I mean, yeah, I do. So we did like a Masters fantasy thing, and I took dead last in it, like dead last.
Sounds like me in every March Madness bracket pool I've ever been in.
Because I'm thinking, Scotty's #1 in the world. How often? I mean, it happened in March Madness, but how often does like the 1 seed really make it to the end?
Well, it's not only that he won by like, what was it, 5,
It was like 7 strokes.
Yeah, it was insane.
so many strokes.
Also,
Yep.
Rory did not play well at all.
No,
Yeah, I was a
he
little
stinks.
underwhelmed by Rory. Is it?
Stinks.
I'm not saying it's time for him to hang it up yet,
You.
but is the prime past for him?
Yeah.
I feel like yes, just because of the amount of talent that's like coming up and coming. Like it's just insane to see.
Also, Jordan Spieth was abysmal too.
Yeah, that guy sucks. That guy's horrible. Jordan Spieth is a bum, and he should probably sell his golf clubs on Facebook Marketplace.
I'd buy him. I need new clubs.
I mean, depending on the price. But I'm not paying anything. Yeah, I don't even want clubs he's touched, personally.
If they're from like 2016, I would want them.
And he hasn't touched them since. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fine.
exactly.
I'll get them.
But moving into final thoughts really quick. I guess Colin, I'll let you start.
I just want to say, Dr. Cates dropped a gem on this the other day. He was telling us about the guy, was in the Masters. I think he's 66. I don't remember the name, but he had to exit the Masters because of an injury he got while playing pickleball, which is one of the funniest.
I do remember him saying
One of the funniest injuries I've ever heard of, out due to pickleball, is just hilarious. I know when Dr. Cates said that, I started laughing. So,
Jim Cates' class is always a hoot.
Yeah.
It really is.
Factual statement.
He prefers wooden baseball bats over aluminum ones.
Yep.
I learned that last week.
Yeah. The only thing I got is that the Brewers put Yelich on the 10-day IL.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So it begins.
Joey Weimer is going to be starting baseball games for the foreseeable future.
Yep. It begins with Christian Yelich once again.
Man, and he was playing so well too. He was truly hanging in there. Like I want to say he had 5 home runs in like the first 10 games. It was.
Yeah,
Just turning back
I feel
the
like
clock.
Sam
mean, like-
Strash is going to lock himself in his room until Christian Yelich is healthy again.
you will not see Sam Strash
Yeah.
for about a month and a half.
You won't.
But yeah, I mean, I have this meme in my phone, and a lot of other Brewers fans do too. It's like, you know how like the now that's what I call music.
Yeah.
Like discs, it's now that's what I call Brewers baseball. This is an example of where that meme comes out.
Yeah.
Michael,
I believe the NHL season is having its season finale today.
it's wrapping up.
Yeah. I'm a Stars fan, so I'm happy for how they're doing so far.
Some disappointing results. I know Carson's probably not thrilled about how the Kraken finished up this year, and Sierra Featherly, who's been on the show before, I know is not thrilled about how the Devils turned out this year. Blackhawks, I mean, the future is bright, but the
Yeah,
present
right now
is
they're
grim.
terrible.
I mean, that's pretty much all I can say. I mean, I'm not even sure, to be honest with you, who's at the top this year. I haven't been keeping up too much.
The Rangers won the President's Cup, so
Good to know.
The
I mean, at least it
President's
wasn't the Bruins, I'll say that.
which is a curse because I don't think the last like 5 President Cup winners have won the Stanley Cup. So.
Well, I mean, the Bruins were out in the first round last year.
and they had the record for most points ever. So
Yep. Les?
So going back to what Colin said about just like a funny thing Jim Cates, or James Cates said, sorry. Well, I got an email that said, on Wednesday we will have a super AP style quiz worth 35 points. So
Ooh.
that's tomorrow.
Better learn AP style, bud.
Yeah, that is tomorrow.
Get ready
Thank
to
you,
learn AP
Dr.
styles.
Cates. Thank you, Dr. Cates.
Those quizzes are so easy. It's
yeah,
insane.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
It's like, where should this comma go? Oh.
when we
Gee, I wonder.
When we
It's like
did-
in the middle of a word. You're like, I don't think that comma should
Well, it's
be
like
there.
when we had our homework for that, it was so easy, but there were like 70 questions.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I
I'm
remember
like,
that
dude,
assignment
wait, is this
specifically.
I am
Is
just
this
This is
publication
J2.
editing?
I know, I think it's
this is-
J237, right?
yeah. It's,
Reporting for news
reporting
media.
news
Yeah.
media.
Yeah.
Colin, I think me and you had that class together.
Yeah, we've had
Preston,
like
you were
6
also in that
Dr.
class.
Cates
Yeah.
classes together.
Yep, every Dr. Cates class,
You're
it's
a
like a
staple
lock.
on the Dr. Cates
I
roster.
still gotta
I am.
take that class, so I'm gonna have to do it online though with Wachanga.
You missed the Dr. Cates window. He's retiring. He's
Yep,
hanging up.
Yeah.
unfortunate. This is the
that-
last dance for Cates. Ryan, real quick, your final thoughts.
I'm sorry to say this, but I think the Bucks are in trouble against Indiana.
I'm not going to speak on that.
It's like here.
You're not wrong.
'Cause I think
I don't disagree with you.
'cause
I'll
I
say
think
that much.
I think even Lillard's like day to day or something.
I think he'll be fine. But yeah, that series, really quick, just my final thoughts. This is, I don't want to say this is the worst possible. This is probably the best out of the 3 options that the Bucks could have had, besides
Yeah.
maybe Philly, because Miami just, they do what they do. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It felt like they were being wasteful, like last week when they had all those games against inferior competition and they lost all 3 of them. It's like if you guys just won those games, you could have had home court over the Knicks in the second round, have you make it that far. It just felt like they were being so like careless for no reason.
I will say avoiding the Celtics until the possible conference finals is nice.
Yeah, the Cavs
But
almost
you gotta
making
make it
that
to the
spot.
conference
Yeah.
finals
No, I know,
first.
but like I'd rather play them in the conference finals knowing that they made it to the conference finals rather than play them in the second round.
Yep. That's definitely. I think that was weighing on their minds a little bit too. But that's going to do it for Hawk Talk here on 91.7 The Edge, WSUW Whitewater. We're really getting down at the end of the semester, guys. It's been a lot of fun so far.